All right, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of In Actuality, the podcast. I am your host, Ashley, and I am excited and ready to get into this. Excited and ready to get into this, okay? So, clearly, all right, I uploaded my first episode of the pod on my birthday, which is March 21st. Today is April 4th, okay? It's April 4th. I was supposed to upload a new episode last week, and with a little bit of everything that's been going on, it was difficult to do. And I'm not gonna lie, I felt like, you know how like when you start a new project, and everybody's not gonna be able to relate to this, but I do have ADHD, like legit diagnosed. And when I get ready to start a new project, and I get ready and I get going and I started it, I did it, but then when it comes to the next thing, I get stuck. It's like stuck. And that's what happened. But this week I'm pushing through because this is actually something that I really want to do. So that's what we're doing. So let's get into the real meat and potatoes of episode number 2, okay? Episode number 2, what I'm going to talk about is needing help. Why do I want to talk about needing help? Man, okay. So I've been a business owner before, and I'm currently in the process of starting up a new business. Rendezvous, the event space in Richmond, Virginia, or whatever, right? So, man, oh man, oh man. I have been like working on the floors there. So, the original floors are, well, the floors that are in there now are hardwood floors, but the previous tenant had to paint over them for whatever reason. And they painted it a really muddy brown color, and I didn't like it. Now I could have just painted over it with a different floor paint color, but that wouldn't have given the look that I really wanted it to give, even though it would have been a lot more cost efficient. I mean, like a lot more cost efficient, but it just would not have given the look that I really wanted my space to have, right? So I've been working on the floors, and I got luxury vinyl plank flooring, excuse me. And that's where the planks they maneuver and click together, and it's pretty easy to do. You can DIY it, which is what I was doing. And I had been doing that. I ordered the flooring materials at the very end of February. They got delivered at the very beginning of March. And it's the beginning of April, and I'm still not done with the floors. Now, last week, I couldn't get into the space at all. Like, I didn't make the time to get there. And so nothing got done last week. And the weeks prior, because I'm inexperienced, because I have so much other stuff going on, when I'm there, I can be there for a couple of hours, max, and I can only get so much done. So I had like maybe a quarter of the floor done by this past Saturday. And I hurt my hand recently too. Don't ask me how, I don't know. You know how like when you get those cuts, like when you doing whatever around whatever, and you look at your hand randomly at some random time, some random day, and you like, dang, when I get that scratch there? Or dang, when I got a scab, when did I even hurt myself there? That happened to me. But this is not a little scratch. I actually hurt my hand. And it's like, if you're watching me on YouTube, If you're listening and watch me on YouTube, I hurt on my right hand. It's like the knuckle of my middle finger, and it hurts on the underside if I apply a little bit of pressure. It hurts on the overside if I move my finger, like if I move it to like fold my hand kind of in half. Like I can't make a tight fist. I can make a loose fist, but I can't make a tight fist. And I don't think it's like obviously it's not like a break because I can move my hand, but the swelling hasn't subsided for like days. Days, bro. It hasn't subsided for days. Like it'll go away for a little bit, and then if I'm moving around too much, it'll come back. And it's been a mess. So anyway, I said that to say, on Saturday when I was doing the floors, I was in there for hours on Saturday, like a good majority of the day on Saturday, and then a good majority of the day on Sunday. But my hand was so hurt, and still I was only at like a quarter, like a little over a quarter of the the square footage of my space. I'm like, bro, I cannot keep doing this. I can't. My hand is gonna be the size of a doggone balloon if I keep trying to work while it's hurt. And I don't know if it's a sprain. I hope it's a sprain, but I mean, realistically, it might be like a hairline fracture or whatever, just because the swelling hasn't gone down. And I'm like, I can't do that. You are not supposed to hurt. I mean, you're not supposed to hurt. You're not supposed to be, working something that needs to heal. Like that's not how that's supposed to work. So I swallowed my pride because I was very prideful and very determined to get and do a lot of the renovations that I could do myself. I was determined to do them by myself. That way I could save a whole bunch of money. And yeah, so I could save a lot of money. That was really it. The gratification of having done it myself, that's nice. That's great. When people ask, well, who did this? Oh, well, I did. Like that's nice to have, but it was really so I could save a lot of money, because when I ordered the flooring and they quoted me for the installation, that quote was like $14,000. I was like, ain't no way. Ain't no way. There's no way I'm paying you $14,000 just to put the floor down when I can click them things in myself. Oh, no. So yeah, that was out of the option, but I didn't even think to outsource that to other installation companies, or small business installation, like small businesses who handle installations. I didn't even think to do that, and I could have did that, and I could have had my floors done at the beginning of March, and gotten all my certifications and stuff like that to had been open at this point, to had been open and having events happen in the beginning of April, like now. And because I didn't think to do that, and because I was really trying to save a buck, I ended up having, to, like, obviously I got to pay the rent of the space, but I'm having to do that without weeks of, having no events, or, nobody renting the space, because the space is not done. So like, it's tricky. It's tricky, because I was trying to save money on one space and then ended up having to spend it anyway on just occupying the space. And in just occupying the space, I didn't make no money because the floors are still not done. So had I just asked for help to begin with, I probably would have been straight right now. You know what I mean? And I really had to swallow my pride. And when I think about the emotions that I went through to do that, bro, that's crazy. It's crazy how caught up in my head I was about wanting to do this thing, this huge project, a huge project, completely solo. What type, for what? What benefit do I get out of that except for saying, oh yeah, I did it by myself? And saving a couple of dollars. Because I didn't save no time. And time is money. Literally. When people say that, man, let me tell you from the perspective of a business owner. When folks say time is money, and I'm talking about folks that actually have, that actually can't waste their time. Their time actually, costs something. When they say time is money, baby, that ain't no joke. That ain't no joke. Time is money for real, because had I took the initiative to do this back when I was ordering the actual flooring, I literally could be taking events today, April 4th. Like, and the fact that I didn't, and I waited a whole month to do that, when I had 31 days. Well, realistically, like 25-ish days. I had 25 days where I could have made something to cover April's rent, and instead, because I didn't, I had to pay that out of pocket. Nah, like, that's crazy to me. Excuse me, that is crazy, 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 crazy to me. There is no, there should not be a badge of honor in struggling and choosing to struggle when you absolutely don't have to. There should be no badge of honor in choosing to struggle when it's not necessary. I chose to do those floors to save a couple of dollars when I did not have to. There was nothing. I did not have to do that. And yet, like, and let me put this into perspective though. Let me set this up and really put this into perspective. Like, had I got the floors done back in March, right? At the beginning of March, when I had the flooring and stuff delivered, and got that done a week and a half, right? So we looking at March 10th, the floors are done. Had I been working on the certifications and stuff that I need for the space to operate legally and appropriately, that can take about a month or so. It's, well, what I've been seeing, it could take a couple of weeks. Like, it could possibly take like 2 weeks, right? So I get the floors done March 10th. 2 weeks later, what's that, 14 days, March 24th? March 24th, I could have been accepting events. And that last week of the month, if I was able to book, even if I was able to book one Saturday, or, the Saturday and the Sunday, last minute stuff, or I needed a space, whatever, for a couple $100, if I was able to do that 4 times for like $400, I would have been good. Like, I wouldn't have had to pay out of pocket for my expenses for the business. Like, in 1 week, I would have been able to pay the expenses for the business in 1 week. And I waited a whole month to even get the floors done. So now I'm set back where I could have been earning, at this point would have been 2 weeks. That could have been, do y'all understand what I'm saying right now? Like, that is insane that I waited so long to ask for help. And not only that, not only did I lose out the potential to have earned money to take care of the expenses for April, I lost what I had because I had lost some of what I had because I had to do it out of pocket because I didn't have any income the last month, right? And then, my health, because my hand still hurts. Like, I don't have my brace on right. I don't even know. It's always on the table. I don't have my brace on right now, but I need to put my hand in and out of a brace to try to help this heal so I'm not moving it too much. I'm out of some dollars. My hand is not functioning at 100%. And, I'm tired. I lost out on time, 2 days of, a weekend that I could have been doing something else, or I could have been putting into other aspects of the business because I didn't ask for help. Like, that's crazy to me. So anyway, when I made this realization this weekend, I'm like, I can't keep doing this with my hand. I made a post on Facebook in a couple of local like business groups that I'm in, and for somebody help me. I was about to say what Kevin Hart said, but I want this podcast to not get flagged. So I posted it in the various groups, and can somebody help me out? I hurt my hand. I don't have the budget for it because I wasn't planning on hiring anyone. I know it's a big job, but can somebody help me out, please? And I had a couple of people hit me up and like, yeah, like how much is it, how much is left, what's needed, blah, blah, blah. And I came across this dude who messaged me. He has his own business. He's been, doing the work or whatever. And he was willing to help me out. Obviously not for the free. And I would have paid something anyway, but he helped me out for our agreed upon price. And I'm so grateful. 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 I was so grateful when he hit me up. I was so grateful when I met up with him. I'm so grateful at the fact that somebody was willing to help me. And I'm even more grateful that I put myself out there because I needed the help, and somebody was actually willing to do it. Like, that made me feel amazing because I don't ask for help. I don't do that all the time. I don't like to do that all the time. And I was so grateful because the time that I did do it, somebody was actually willing to help me. And so he said he could have it done in 5 to 7 days, about a week or so. And I'm cool with that because now I can focus on actually taking the time to record my podcast. I can take the time to work on the contract so that when the certifications come in, I can post the contracts and we can get moving, and you know what I'm saying, all that stuff. Like, because he's doing that for me now, I'm able to focus on other aspects of the business that I wouldn't have been able to focus on if I was doing the floors and doing, everything in the building. Like, I'm getting there, but yeah. So that is something that I feel like people need to take that with them, because a lot of us don't ask for help. Don't want to ask for help, and it stems from a lot of disappointment, asking for help previously and getting let down, people not coming through, and that sucks. But if you really, really need help, I mean, dog, a closed mouth don't get fed, you know what I mean? And I've that's been something that I've been working on actively for like the last, I don't know, year and a half, 2 years. Opening my freaking mouth and asking for what I need, man, because if you don't, the only one suffering is you, because nobody knows what you need. So nobody knows that you need anything. They think that you good unless you say, hey, I kind of need some help. Oh, that I just hurt my neck. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I got derailed. I moved my neck and it hurt. um, but yeah, like if you don't open your mouth and ask for what you need, they're going to assume that you don't need anything, which is almost never true. But because of how this society works and how people in this society work, they ain't worried about you. They not worried about you unless you say something. So if you don't say nothing, they ain't worried about you. Out of sight, out of mind. You know what I mean? So that's what I learned this week. That's what I came across this week, because baby, that was a real moment where I really had to let my ego go. I really had to let it go. I had to step out of my pride and just I need help. I can't do it. Saying that I can't do something, rough. Oh, rough. Ooh, I can't do it. And it's something that I know that I actually can do, but I just don't have the capacity to do. Ooh, that hurt the pride of my spirit, baby. It hurt the pride of my spirit. But you know what? I feel less prideful after that, because I know that I cannot do everything. And that is proof. Like, I literally can't do everything. And if I try to do everything, I am going to lose money behind it. I'm going to lose my health behind it. I'm going to lose a little bit of sanity behind it. You know, what's left. And that's not what I want to do. None of that is what I want to do. That's not how I want it to go. So I'm taking a conscious effort to ask for help. Whew. To ask for help going forward. And that's going to be really, really difficult, because that's just not something that I'm used to doing. But it is what it is. We're going to make it happen. So the next thing that I have on the docket for today, and I'm going to make this a segment, if you will, within the podcast, and it is because we all need a little bit of joy. We need joy. The climate has been too heavy, both figuratively and literally. Global warming. Like the weather has been ridiculous, and it keeps going back and forth, but it keeps going to the extremes. And also figuratively, you know, in society, everything is a little bit heavy. Everybody's a little bit oversensitive. All the things seem to be a little bit too touchy. And I have disassociated from that. I don't get into that. So I feel I want to bring a little bit of laughter, a little bit of joy with my podcast in actuality. And because literally, in actuality, at the end of the day, all that shit don't matter. All that stuff doesn't really matter. It gives people anxiety. It triggers people's depression. And like, for what? For what? But that's another topic for another day. Anyway, this new segment is called the funniest thing I've seen this week. Very simple, very to the point. And the funniest thing that I saw this past week, well, it was actually kind of a little bit of last week, but because this is episode 2 and it was supposed to come out last week, what even day was this? What day was this even supposed to come out? The 28th. It was supposed to come out the 28th. Around that time, one of my favorite reality stars, Tamar Braxton. Hi, Tamar, if you're listening to this, which, I mean, realistically, you probably won't ever, but if you are, I love you so much, and hi. So, Tamar Braxton and Kandi Burruss, okay? Now, you know Tamar Braxton is the youngest sister of the Braxtons. Toni Braxton, living legend, his baby sister. And Kandi Burruss has been on, what is that show? Real Housewives of Atlanta, and was previously in the singing group Escape with, Tiny, who is Tia's wife, and the sisters who, what's their names? Tamika and Latasha. So Tamar and Kandi got into it, right? Yo, they got into it, and I think the original issue was because of, y'all remember when Escape's biopic was gonna come out, or there were like rumors about that or whatever. So the producer who was kind of behind that was a producer on Real Housewives of Atlanta, I think, or one of them shows that Kandi was on. And Kandi said, allegedly, because I don't know these people, Kandi said that he stole the rights to Escape's life story and was trying to produce a biopic or whatever on them. And he was being stinky about it, real nasty about it. And she ain't like that. So Tamar, I learned, is one of the hosts on Dish Nation or whatever. I've never watched it, not familiar with it, but I believe Gary with the T is on that, and he used to be on. He used to be on? Oh, it was, I think, Ricky Smiley's morning show, and them people, they was all up there, and it came up in the conversation on This Nation, and Tamar, kind of dodged the bullet. She said something in the milk ain't clean, and somebody's lying. And so they had a tiff about that at one of their shows where they was all performing or something like that. And Tamar had said that Kandi, because how Kandi could get. She could get a little rowdy. And, she was getting a little rowdy. She was, I ain't really fucking with, I ain't really messing with you, Tamar, after Tamar has said, hey, at they show, whatever. And I got all the, let me be clear. I got all this from Tamar's live, because I got on Instagram randomly, and I was like, oh, she's live. What was she talking about? And this is what she was talking about. I was like, oh my God, what is the tea? What have I missed? And, so long story short, she said that, Kandi was getting loud, getting rowdy, and ultimately she threatened her. And Candy's husband, Todd, y'all know how Todd can be. But Tamar called that man Toddina. Girl. Oh my gosh. I laughed so hard. Toddina, the disrespect, bro. She called that man Toddina. Because it's one thing for you to support your wife, and she getting rowdy, she getting loud, be like, all right, like, you ain't gotta say nothing, you pull her away, you got her back, whatever, if anything crazy happens or whatever, right? But Tamar was like, he was pulling Kandi and was like away and looked her up and down like, you know what it is, sir. What you mean I know what it is? I don't know nothing about you. What you trying to do with me? Girl, because I don't believe in that. I don't think dudes should ever speak to a woman in that way if their woman is already handling it. Like, there's nothing for you to say. Are you about to get into it with this woman after your wife already did? So both of y'all, like, that's whack to me. That was real Tadina-ish to me. And but I thought that was hilarious. And she said it off the you know, because Tadina had said, girl, not Tadina. Oh my Lord. But anyway, I don't know if y'all know and if y'all seen it, but Tamar is on a new show called Queen's Court, and she done found the love of her life, child. And he was in the car with her while she was on live, and he was like, yeah, I had said something to him because I think that's classless. I don't know if he said classless, but that was the gist of it. You know, a man should never step to a woman in that manner. That man is a white man, and he a little bit hood. And he said he had stepped to Candy's husband, and that was, I don't know if y'all on the Shade Room, but that was that picture that Tamar had posted, and in the background you could see you could see JR talking to Todd. Girl, I thought that was hilarious because Candy always act like she ain't in no mess, but she always in some freaking mess. And Tamar is frequently in a lot of mess. Well, not so much anymore, but she had been in a whole lot of mess. But I honestly just feel like Tamar is misunderstood. I don't think she had to say that Candy and Todd threatened her, but I could see why she would say that, because a dude stepping to me like, you know what it is, sir. So if I continue to argue with your wife and me and her is arguing, is you finna hit me? Like, what is this? What are we talking about? But yeah, I thought that was funny. I thought the exchange was funny, not that part. Because bro, Tamar is a whole ass character, bro. And let me not forget, y'all know Tamar is, I believe she is an award-winning singer. And Candy has, you know, earned awards and stuff too, but baby, she said, I gotta get ready to go so I can sing circles around these people in here. Girl, but she won't lie, and she sings significantly greater. I'm way better than Candy. I don't think she can hit them high notes the same, but I'd rather listen to Tamar's songs than Candy's, you know, depending on the vibe. But for sure, Tamar is a bomb ass singer, and Candy can't match her. So I thought that was funny. Now, I hope y'all got some enjoyment out of that, because I know for sure that I absolutely did. I thought that was hilarious. So, moving into the next part of the podcast, which will be the end. This is going to be our closing segment of the podcast going forward. And it is I haven't figured out a name for it, but basically it's like, what is your in actuality moment of the week, and or you know, the show or whatever, but we'll see how that goes when we get there. For me this week, my in actuality moment, bro, let me get my notepad out. It's on my iPad because I wrote it down. Well, I typed it. My in actuality moment of this week is, you might be hesitant to ask for help. Back to what I was talking about in the beginning, because that really moved my spirit this week, bro. You might be hesitant to ask for help because you think people won't come through. Let me say it again so we hear with it. You might be hesitant to ask for help because you think people won't come through. But in actuality, if you're willing to ask for help, 9 times out of 10, someone will be willing to help you. If you can remove yourself and get out of your pride a little bit, just enough to genuinely ask for help, 9 times out of 10, somebody will be willing to help you. And I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to close this episode out. I appreciate y'all for watching. I appreciate y'all for listening, watching, for the folks on YouTube, listening for the folks who listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or iHeartRadio or, subtle flexes for where my podcast can be found. I really, really appreciate those who are listening and those who will find this in due time. If you like this, if you like my podcast so far, I really appreciate if you subscribed, if you downloaded the episodes, if you listened, if you shared it, because that would really help me in what I'm trying to do, not only for myself, but in my community, in time. I have a lot of big goals, which I don't think I've actually shared a whole bunch here. And I will soon, but the goal is if I can get up, I'm a person that anyway, besides the point, because I'm about to get into all my goals and everything. But anyway, if you want to support me, if you like my vibe, if you think I'm funny, if you like the way I talk, all the things. I appreciate the listen. Continue to listen. Please share this with, all the folks. And I will see you all in the next episode. Y'all be easy. Bye.